When the police came, what happened? They said, well, they asked me questions, they made a report, and that was it. Lack of proper equipment. Now, when you have the fingerprinting equipment and you have a good forensic department. There's a break-in, you go, you can dust the place, find prints, and maybe by the end of the night, you know who you're looking for. There is a plan to build police substations in St. Peter's, to build a police substation in Belvedere, Dutch Quarter, around the border. There is a plan to build one down below Kupakoi, down by Porto Kupakoi there. In that area, another one will be built. So, coupled with the main police station in Phillipsburg, and you have proper equipment, which we secured the funding for. Intelligence information, the gathering of intelligence, the gathering of information, the processing of information. You need the necessary tools and infrastructure to do so. And when those things are in place, coupled with more blue on the street, coupled with more people in the management of our police force, we will be improving on the crime situation.
William is taking us all the way to country St. Martin. All of this year, the NA leader has been unwavering in the mission for country St. Martin. When the country process was under threat, William Marlin negotiated a date, 10-10-10. When others said 10-10-10 could not happen, William Marlin boarded KLM and fought in Holland for his people. When Holland said no, William Marlin fought in the second chamber in The Hague and got the Kingdom Consensus laws approved. Had it not been for William Marlin's unwavering work and his love for his people, St. Martin would not now be thinking 10-10-10. That's why we must vote for William Marlin on September 17th. Let's go all the way with William. He's gone all the way for all of us.
Should the elections not produce a clear winner with a majority of seats, which political party would you not feel comfortable working with in the case of a formation of a coalition?
Well, first of all, the National Alliance is not in this race with the intention of we have to team up with another political party to be in government. We have entered this race confident that the people of St. Martin will give us a majority, a clear majority, so that we can govern country St. Martin for the next 4 years. One of the things that I've mentioned when I returned from Holland, I said, well, we're in a political campaign, and I don't expect any unity between the 10th of September and the 17th of September, but I do expect unity, political unity and unity of our people, because we can't continue fighting each other. I've been told there's a candidate on one of the slates of the Democratic Party slate that goes around in public meetings saying William Marlin is a demon. William Marlin is evil, these kind of things. One can say, well, you're making a joke or you're just saying something. Next thing, they went in Belvedere yesterday and said, William Marlin, don't go to church. He's a demon. Now, that is absolutely not true. Okay? Absolutely not true. But does everyone who votes know William Marlin up close? So when you hear things about somebody who you don't know up close and about, you may want to believe them. But of course, people wouldn't want to believe that I'm a demon. But I'm saying, so we are saying, we believe that after the election, whichever party or parties get in government, we got to put our political differences aside and work for the interest of St. Martin. The National Alliance doesn't intend to um, lose the election. We are not looking for 4 seats. We are not looking for 5 seats. We want at least 9 seats so we can govern comfortably. We have been saying on the campaign trail we want 10. But we are not God to decide what we will get and in what amount. So if there is a need for a coalition, the minute we don't win the election, it would mean then that you have a choice of 2 coalition partners. And we are prepared to work with parties, any party, that can come to grips with us on a national agenda for the people of St. Martin. Because one of the things that you're going to get with coalition governments, I could say I am against a particular thing. And that party has it high on their agenda. I looked at the way, for instance, we have approached the work permit policy. We have reversed quite of what the Democratic Party has put in place, and we have removed all of the frustration surrounding the labor permit policy. What is one of the political parties saying in their manifesto? Hey, boo, you put us in there. We are going to put a moratorium on granting of work permits. So if you have to work with a party that says, I'm going to freeze work permits, no more granting of work permits, then it's something that you have to talk about. If we are proponents of introducing compulsory education in such a way that it translates into every child in St. Martin, legal or not, from here or not, black or white, every child deserves the right to education. And if another party says, no, we don't believe any undocumented children should be going to school, leave the parents, send them back to their country. Now, it calls for dialogue, it calls for discussion. So for now, we're on the campaign trail. Things will be said about each other. And once the campaign is over, the focus has to be one on respecting the decision of the people. So when we win, we would expect the others to respect the decision of the people. And when, of course, you form a government, that doesn't mean then that they got to fall in line, roll over, and play. There is no government there. But no, to say that there are parties now that we would say absolutely not, we are not working with them. No, we are saying in the first place, we intend to go alone. If there's a need, we'll have to look at, 1, the outcome of the election. 2, we need to look at what they stand for, what can we agree on certain areas, because if we can't agree, then you won't be able to work together.
Why have you placed emphasis on compulsory education?
Not only as an educator, but as a parent, as a citizen, as a person. I believe very much in a brain is a terrible thing to waste. But also I believe that it is, not believe, I agree with the fundamental rights of the child, that every child has a right to education. And when children are living in a society, that society has an obligation to educate those children. I have absolutely no problem that if the immigration authorities say, Peter, John, Mary, you came here with your family on a vacation 3 months ago. We have given you a month to stay on the island. Your vacation is up. You have to leave. You came on a vacation. You didn't come to live. If you want to live on St. Martin, there are rules by which you have to apply to live on St. Martin. If you want to travel, you have to purchase your airline ticket. You don't walk into the plane and say, I'm traveling. So if you want to come here on a vacation, there are rules. If you want to live, there are rules. But if we allow them to break the rules and allow them to stay here, allow their children to be born here, allow them to enter the island with their children, and they don't leave the island after the time stipulated, how can we tell that child, because your parents came on a vacation and they didn't leave, we are not going to give you an education? If you don't educate the children today, tomorrow you got to look at the barrel of the gun and it may be pointed in your direction. But besides that, It is not every child that didn't have an education that will turn out to be a bad child. Okay? Turn out to be a bad adult. But you're depriving that young person from a future. Because by not educating him or her, you're making it impossible for him to get a decent job when he becomes an adult. And therefore, no. There were those who have criticized the fact that we encourage all the school boards and government schools to take in as many children as possible. And after that was done, we still had over 100 students who couldn't get into school. And then we opened Charles Leopold Bell School so that they can get an education. This year we are adding 2 classes to it. And we're saying when at the end of the road it is all said and done, those who we allow to stay here, those who we allow to live here, those who we allow to be born here and stay here, we have to educate them. We have to educate them.
Explain what you have done since taking office for constitutional affairs and what was not done by the previous DP government.
One of the things that I've always been critical of, but I've always supported the process was, I've always said there is a lot of work still to be done here and I'm not seeing any progress on it. So when you got in government, what did we find? We found a draft constitution. We found a number of draft organic laws. None of them had been debated in the Central Committee, which is a requirement for law. None of them therefore went to a public debate in the Island Council. I found a situation where the only agreement that you had was St. Martin and Curacao will become country, but only when Holland say they are ready, when Holland say they passed the test. And then we found a commissioner who was complaining day after day that the process is not moving satisfactorily because Holland is constantly moving the goalpost. Every time they feel that we are ready, Holland is basically shifting the goalpost now. When I got in government, what have we done? The week after I got in government, there was a political steering group meeting. The leader of the Democratic Party said she was not going because William Marlin has had a lot of chats. Let him prove now that he can get things done. I went down to the meeting, and when they realized that the Dutch didn't slam the door in my face, to the contrary, signed an agreement with me, the following week, the leader of the Democratic Party was in Curacao to share in whatever glory there was to share. The debate in the second chamber, the leader of the Democratic Party did not go. Again, they thought it was going to blow up in our face. It did not. We negotiated. On the home front, we had to get the machinery in place. We had to get the organization in place to complete the organic laws, draft the new ones that were missing, and literally drag them through the process of the Central Committee and the public meeting of the Island Council. Now, did William Marlin do it alone? No. No. In the first place, you needed the assistance of the support staff of the Secretariat. So young women who worked morning, noon, and night for 2 months. Then you needed, of course, the support of Island Council members. And we are grateful for those who supported us, those who, not us, but supported the people of St. Martin in this process, voted for the Constitution, all members, voted on the organic laws. Most of them got unanimous support, but some of them were supported only by the National Alliance faction and Louis Laveist.